And I guess I need a new intro for this because I can't take our fan fest live. Hey, gotta leave that IP over there. We are here for our first inaugural Breaking Bread on the YouTube. Hey, everybody watching on YouTube. What's up, everybody watching on Twitch? What's up to everybody watching on Twitter? Please hit us up in these comments. Let's get these chats a brewing, a burning. About anything. Let us know what you're up to, what you have for dinner, what you're drinking right now. I currently got some whiskey. I'll help unwind myself for the night. I'm here with the show, bro. Sharpie Charlie. How's it going, my homie?
What's up? What's up? It's great, man. Happy to be back. Had a nice little time off for the holidays, so it's good to talk
Hey,
some footy.
it has been a nice bit off. Did a bunch of pre-recording last week, and currently, you guys, there we are dropping 6 straight episodes from Monday through Sunday. Just check our feed right now. 3 episodes have dropped this week. We still got plenty of more. Tap in. We are here though for Breaking Bread to be talking Man City, Sheffield United. We brought our good friend Chad Jarvis of Red Half of Sheffield. How's it going, my guy?
Um, as good as it can be for being the absolute worst team in the league. I think we've played 18 games or 19 games, and I can't wait until the rest of them are over to be out of this godforsaken league. So yeah, as good as it can be, I guess.
Okay, so even if before we get into anything, say say you get relegated, and where do you stand? Where will you sit in the championship? Do you feel, would you go back to being a big fish in the pond, or would you be
Um,
struggling even for that league?
I'm hoping we go and we finish mid-table for the rest of my life, and I never want to get promoted back to the Premier League ever again. I just hate this league. It's so unentertaining as a supporter of a club in, let's say, the bottom third of this league. I don't know how you really want to live in this league being anywhere from 14th down. Yeah, it's the payday. Yeah, it's the TV rights. I understand all of that, but you can look at Leicester, look at Southampton, look at Leeds down in the second division. Leicester's going to come automatically up. They have the highest points total through the first, I think they played 26 games in championship history. Southampton are third and Leeds are fourth. So those teams probably in some sort of order are going to come back up. Although Ipswich might have something to say about that and take an automatic spot away. But yeah, for a long, I guess this is a long-winded answer. I just wish we were down about 6th to 8th right now. There's no reason to come up to this league anymore for especially for the teams that the ownership is not going to invest in the side. There's no real point to come up besides the $150 million payday or whatever it is. We still got that payday, didn't spend a damn dime of it.
Man, that's a bummer and unfortunate to hear from you. I mean, it's not surprising because, like you said, I was looking at just like your top scorers and top assists, and the numbers aren't the best, and I completely understand why you would feel this way, especially about the league. I mean, I honestly, I think it similarly when I kind of want to reach out to, like, that's why I'm so happy we connected, because I feel like there are so many where I feel like that when I reach out, it could be like condescending or it could be taken the wrong way and stuff like that. And it's just like, no, we just like legit want to connect with you guys, and it's always good to do that. Well, I mean, shit. Let's get into this. Uh, Sharpie, let's quick give your thoughts overall on Sheffield. How do you feel? What do you think about this club?
I mean, what I will say is this: I feel like Sheffield is, as Chad has said, it's just they're outmatched, and it's hard to talk. You can't even like. It's not even funny because it's unfair, right? Like it's not it's not supposed to be this way. And you can even see the difference. I just look at the goals allowed, right? Like 47 goals allowed in 19 matches. That's a shit ton of goals. Like you're shipping goals. At least you would think, okay, let's batten down the hatches. Let's go 5-4-1, 5-3-2. Let's figure something out to just keep it tight. But that becomes now it's just like, hey, like they're giving their best, obviously. I have said like I've seen some progress if we get into the last 5 matches, right? Like there have been some close matches. There aren't the 8-0 drubbings or I think it was like that 5-0 crazy match against Burnley. But everything else is within like 2 goals, right? Like and that's progress. So yeah, Chad, I think like that's something that is a positive for Sheffield at this point.
Yeah, I would agree with you to a certain extent. The 5-0 drubbing against Burnley is kind of a almost fool's gold for Burnley. I mean, if you look at them, they're right there with us. They're just as bad as we are. I think our previous manager, Paul Heckingbottom, had lost the dressing room, so the players had kind of given up on him, and they said, "Well, here you go. We don't want you to manage anymore. We're going to give up about halfway through." So that 5-0 loss to Burnley. Yes, it looks good for Burnley, but for us, it's kind of misleading. And I say misleading. Yeah, we're shipping goals. We've tried to go to a back 4. We usually play a 3-5-2. We've tried every sort of formation, but when you have a bunch of players that we recruited that are bums, they don't fit the system, and pretty much we could play a back 11 and probably concede 3 or 4. Now, since we have changed managers, I will give you that the results have kind of tamed down. The hammerings haven't been as bad as they were to begin with. But I mean, it's only a matter of time before we get back to that because we're playing with a mid-level championship side against a Premier League side. This is what happens when you sell your best 2 players 2 weeks before the season starts, and that's just unfortunate. But even if we sold our best 2 players, we'd still be in this relegation fight. I said when the minute we got promoted, God, I can't wait until we're back in the championship in a year. And everybody's like, "What are you saying?" I said, "You guys are so delusional, thinking we have any chance in the division above next season." And they said, "Why?" I said, "We're going to do something. Our recruitment's going to be terrible." I thought Heckingbottom would make it to January before he got sacked. I missed out on that by about 6 weeks. But I said, you're gonna we're gonna finish last, and we're gonna be back in this division. And everybody's like, "Oh, you don't believe? There's always hope. There's always hope." And then it started the season
Hope is
started,
what
and we
kills
sunk
you.
like a ship. We sunk like a ship once the season started. Sold our best 2 players, and then there you go. Then you get hammered 8-0 by Newcastle at home, and it's all been downhill from there.
Hope is what kills you. Hope is what kills you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, let's get into the first bit and look at the first 5 matches of our last 5 matches for both clubs. Actually, we honestly haven't been doing much better than you guys, except for I guess we're having draws. So we're both dropping points. You guys are just obviously dropping more, but it's not looking good. Our last 5. Yeah, we beat Everton, came through at the end, pulled it together. Then Crystal Palace struggled at Luton. When I shout out to the Toffee Bluecast, I was on their pre-match show a couple days ago, and they were super shocked. I'm sure they didn't pay attention to the game too much, but seeing the scoreline with the Luton match, thinking that we should beat them down. And then I talked about our recent score and our form against Tottenham 3-3, Liverpool 1-1. It's been kind of poor. Sharpie, really, I haven't had a chance to talk with you since the win. How are you feeling about things really since the win? I mean, we've chatted on Slack chat and stuff like that, but nothing in person.
Yeah, man. I feel like this is where you start to you have a period of survival when you're in a title race, right? You're not going to win 35 matches this season. It's hard to win 30, right? So if the draws come early, you take them. Now, all you can say is like, hey, we had leads in all of them. It's not like we had to fight for a draw. We had the lead, poor defensive performances, individual errors, all that stuff happens. It's football, as Pep always says, right? These things can happen in football. But I love the rebound, right?
Mm.
There's a some teams will start to lose these matches. And so even today, right, you look at Arsenal, they lost 2-0 at home. Now, West Ham was a really strong opponent, but to lose at home 2-0, that sucks. That's 3 drop points, whereas we only dropped 2, right? So right away now, we control our fate with Arsenal. And so I feel like just the mentality to still persevere. And yeah, we have injuries. Nobody's gonna feel sorry for us, right? Like we have World Cup players that are positioned, yada yada yada. But when you're missing Holland, Daku, De Bruyne, now Stones, Diaz, like it does have an effect. And
Yeah.
so players are now having to step up more and more and become those guys when the best players in the world, their position in Holland and Kevin De Bruyne aren't there. And so it's been a transitional period. And I'm happy where we are at halfway through the season. And I think like after this match, yeah, I'm gonna be real. Like I think we beat Sheffield, right? Like don't want to bury the lead here, but I feel like after we get these 3 points, then we're right where we want to be with 19 matches to go.
Yeah. It's we have always been the ones who've kind of been pushing calm, calm. It's it's great. It's lovely. It's fantastic seeing how things are right now and how we're able to get this win and figure things out. It just enforces us being like, "Hey, you goofs, what did we say? Didn't we tell you? Didn't we tell you?" So I don't know. It sorry, it is good because I always pushed. Hey, we have Everton, we have Sheffield, we have a run of games that are winnable and aren't so intense. And on the other hand, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham. This is kind of where they have some tough matches, some matches away, and they're playing each other. That if as long as City play their game, don't drop too many points, look at where we are right now. 5 points behind with a whole other ass game in hand. Potentially, if things continue to fall apart, because we have this. Well, we won't be on top, but we'll be just like right there, right there. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Cron, can I say something real quick before we get to
Yeah,
the
please.
Sheffield side? I feel
Yeah, go
like
for it.
when you just said it, you just said like there are matches that are less intense, right? And I think that's if I could change the wording a little bit, it'll say they're still going to be very intense, right? Because we're going to get every team's
Yes.
best shot.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just
Yes.
we have more of a talent disparity, right? Like nobody's looking at a Luton Town fixture going City should lose that match. No, you don't say that because you know the budgets, you know the spending, you know all these things, right? And that really matters in this league, as Chad alluded to, like money talks. And so I think like because we don't play a big 6 side until the derby on March 2nd, if my math is right. Oh, we play Chelsea February 17th. So like you have 3 months now with like sides that are mid to bottom of the table. Yeah, you're supposed to win these matches. And I think like that's where the pressure comes in is like, are you going to do what you're supposed to do? Because you can't afford any more draws. Like we don't have in this race, if we get 3 more draws, that literally could decide the title, right? We know how close these things get. So I'm interested to see how we continue this, how we get healthy. We know Kevin De Bruyne is training. We know we have heard that Holland is away from the team still, so that might be longer. But piece by piece, I think we're on the right track.
Um, well, let's look over on the Sheffield side. Recently, yes, your losses to Brentford. I mean, that was a close one, but the win against Luton Town, the draw against Aston Villa, are the games close at least? Like the against Chelsea, the Brentford, a 1-0 win. That looks like maybe if a shot goes a couple inches the right way, it could have been a draw. I mean, a lot of these games, I'm sure, are close margins. I know you want out of the Premier League, but are there at least moments where you're like, okay, I understand how we got here?
I guess you can say yeah, but we're in it for about 15 to 20 minutes and that's about it. And then if we do take our chances and get one to go back and go into the back of the net, that certainly excites you, but it's just not it I'm almost it's almost going into this game. I enjoy the pre-match and the post-match in dread the 90 minutes or 98. I think we're still playing against Tottenham from like 3 months ago when they played 14 minutes to get him to win the game. But it's just it's one of those things. It's like, okay, we'll play you guys on Saturday and it'll start off and we won't even have a single shot on goal, and you're like, okay, 90 minutes for what? I mean, it's just as we can play good at times, it's very few and far between that we're even remotely close to anyone. The score lines, the Villa score line and the 1-1 draw, that was another one where the refs gave them 9 minutes to score and added time. It was 1-0. It probably should have been 4 or 5, not 9. So when you give a team 9 minutes to play against a bunch of bums, 11 bums over on the other side, they're bound to score. It's just the law of averages. So we probably should have won that one. It's you're overmatched, and it's my theory of this whole thing is the Premier League doesn't want the bottom teams to win against these bigger sides because the divide has become so big, and the draw from Europe and from America over here. If Manchester City lost to Sheffield United on Saturday and it was 2-0, everybody'd be like, "Oh, what the hell's wrong with Manchester United? They got stuffed by the last team in the league." Like, you know how bad that would look for not only England as a whole in Europe, including the entire world over here in America. Everybody was like, "Who the hell Sheffield United just beat us to? Like, what the hell's that?" I mean, so that's the biggest thing that I feel like we're battling is you are watching a 90-minute TV show, and ratings tend to go down when the bigger clubs face the smaller clubs, especially if by any chance we were to win. I just think it becomes a black eye for the Premier League where they're like, we can't have these smaller teams beat Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. That's why you haven't seen any of those sides, any of these bottom sides this year come anywhere close to us or to you guys.
Well, I'll say this: the Luton match was like we had a big fan fest event here. Well, not fan fest. Man City did a trophy tour in DC, and like we watched it. That shit was tense. Like Luton Town gave us a fight. I will say that the Burnley matches, yeah, the first match of the season wasn't crazy exciting, but like I remember a few seasons ago, Norwich City, right? Little old Norwich had us at home, and I believe that was like they got us good. Like they won. I
Yeah.
can't remember the scoreline, but they actually were impressive, right? So like what you're saying can happen. Would I bet money on it? God no. Like I would never bet on Sheffield to win. That'd be terrible. Right? It's a donation to your book. But
exactly.
You know that like it's still a chance. And they used to say, like for us on our side, typical City, right? Where you get all the chances, you miss them all, or like you saw today, if you watch any of the West Ham match, teams just sit 7 in the box and say, "Good luck, try to shoot through us." So it's hard to like as much as you want to count it as 3 points, you still got to go get the 3 points. And we've seen wild shit happen.
I will agree with you that the one-offs will happen, but I feel like 5 years ago they were more apt to happen, where now I think the playing field has separated so much and the divide in the league has swung so heavy to one side that they're few and far between that they have like that happens, honestly. I mean, Newcastle getting beat by, I think it was Luton last week, 1-0. I was like, that's like the one shocker of the season so far, that you didn't see that coming. And it just, I think it's the divide's getting further and further away. And I don't know, nothing's going to change, but I definitely think that something does to not necessarily level the playing field, but bridge that gap from being so wide to a little bit closer than it has been or has become.
Man, shoot. I had a thought and it just went. Oh, I was thinking back. All this was thinking back to our conversation with Hassan when he came on, and he was just saying when he's talking about how much his dislike for FFP, and he was like, I feel bad for the teams in the lower half because FFP hurts them more than it hurts us because you can't spend any more than you can bring in. And what sense does that make to some of these lower, like how much money realistically can Luton Town bring in? Can you guys bring in your size stadiums unless you sign some big jersey deal? But how would that happen? And if you get too much money in, then FFP is going to be like, how'd you get all that money? It's all weird and silly. The only way it can happen is if an initial investment comes in with a huge amount of money and sets a very specific 10-year plan, and hopefully you get the best manager. Like truly, City is the best case scenario, and we got it at the beginning of FFP, and we're still reeling with all the nonsense. But currently, I don't really understand how a team in the bottom half of the Premier League gets out of that space.
We would have to have an owner come in that would be a billionaire. I mean, you've got what happened at Newcastle. Look, Newcastle were on the verge of being relegated. That team was absolute ass. Then the Saudi Arab money came in and bought them, and look where they are now. I mean, it would take something monumental like that to come in to change us. We are owned by a Saudi prince, and he is the brokest prince in all of Saudi Arabia. He's been trying to sell the club for better part of 2 years now, and nobody wants us. And it's almost like, hold on, this is a head scratcher. We're a team, we're bottom of the Premier League, but if you were to invest in us, you could and get us sustainability to be in this league for years on years on years, maybe 5 years, instead of going down and up and down and up and down and up over the next 5 years. We're going to need a billionaire that's going to have all kinds of money to come in and just revolutionize our side.
The club that comes to mind for me is Bournemouth. And I think about them because they have American owners. He's the owner of the Golden Knights in the NHL. Also got some celebrity, smaller owners. And it's like somehow, some way, Bournemouth has become a solidly mid-table side, which I never saw coming. Because you look at Bournemouth, the Cherries. I know we literally got Ake off of them a few years ago when they got relegated, and then they found their way up. And like you said, like that is the only way you can become competitive. And if we really want to go back to your first part, is like, you're going to try to be a mid-table team. You're not saying, I want to come to the Premier League to win it. No. Let's not be silly. You're saying, I want to be like a solid 10 to 14 and just know we're going to stay up every year. We're going to keep it up. We might have a good cup run in the FA Cup. We might have a good League Cup run. Because it's a reasonable goal. Like the Leicester story is one of a kind. It will never happen again that a club that size is going to win the Premier League. It's impossible. We'll see the movie about it in like 15 years. But it's going to be that's the level of like luck. I feel like because Bournemouth has had some luck. You hit and you miss. You just stay above because they were like they were going to go down last year, and then they come up. So I hope that for Sheffield, like you said, if you go down for a couple of years, something can happen that can get hope back on that side to where it's like, oh, now we have a way up, and to sustainability at least, because it's a shitty premise right now.
Yep.
It really is. All right. Well, the next. What is going on with this?
I saw it. Can I ask a question while you read that, Crump? I'm gonna ask Chad because I know where we're going. Chad, if there was one player, or just name the players who are like possible goal scorers this weekend. Like, who are the players you're like, hey, if we can score a goal, these are the 4 or 5 guys that might do it.
If I had to put because I am a betting man.
Same.
If I had to put money on, I'd probably put money on the goalkeeper to score more than any of the other players. Throw a fiver on him. No, but in
Plus
all
20,000.
honesty, maybe the manager. In all honesty, dude, I ain't gonna lie. We ain't gonna score this weekend. We might get one, and it would be Ollie McBurney. It'd be your Gustavo Hamer. Other than that, McAtee can't play because he's cup tied because he's
That's
on loan.
fucking right. Oh my
Oh,
god! We
yeah,
changed the
I
rule.
forgot about that.
Forgot about
I
Yeah,
hate that.
so
I hate
he
that.
can't play. He'll be riding. He'll
Damn.
be getting drunk in the stands with the supporters, or I'd go to the bar and get hammered before the game, knowing I'm not going to play for another week. Other than that, honestly, we ain't got no chance in hell at scoring. So not really. I mean, I threw two names out there: Hamer and McBurney. Maybe Cameron Archer. Maybe, but
I like what I've seen of Archer a little bit. He has a little something to him.
but light shines
Not a
on the
lot.
dog's ass every once in a while. So I mean, who knows?
true.
The goalkeeper might score. We might have a center back that scores, but we have a long list of injuries. So it's kind of patchwork at the moment. But yeah, I gave you three names. Will any of those touch the ball more than 10 times? I highly doubt it.
That's what it is. Shout out to Noisy. What's up? And yeah, the 3-2. You say it's a blip, and that's because history makes us forget. But I was very mad about that. Something about me. It's just their kids. They're just so loud and aggressive. Just losing to a team like that
Yellow
just doesn't feel
Never
nice.
forget.
It's like the
Never
yellow
forget.
and that lime green. Like
Yep.
it's not great. It's not great. It's just you shouldn't lose to a team like that. And
Crunk, may I ask another question real quick before I forget?
yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Tad, and this is I wanted to get your very honest opinion because I know you're an honest man. Do you think James McAtee, based on what you've seen, is ready for top level title chasing football, or is he like more of a mid table player? Like you watch him every week or when he plays. So like, what's the report?
So based on having him last year and having the players, specifically Illman and Dye, around him that would and oddly enough, Tommy Doyle, his Man City partner,
Mm-hmm.
that got sent to Wolves. We were trying to get both of those back on loan to reunite that partnership. The first game I ever watched, oddly enough, was Sheffield United last year when that McAtee started against Luton. And he was passing to the signboard. That dude was so nervous. And as the season wore on and he got more confident, the dude looked like an absolute world beater. Now, fast forward to this year, everybody's, oh, yeah, we got him back on loan. This is going to be great. He's going to bring us back success like we had last year. Take out Illumin and I, take out Tommy Doyle, put in bums and bums and bums around him, and now you have James McAtee that is a shell of his former self from last year. Now, I love McAtee. I wish in some way we could sign him. It would have been almost more beneficial if he would have went down to a Leicester, a Southampton, or a Leeds, or an Ipswich, and went to one of those teams in the championship and got another season under his belt of playing in the championship, because both of those teams, or a majority of those teams, are going to be playing in the Prem next year, and they'll do better than we did or are going to do. So I feel like we're almost hampering him. But if he would have went to I don't want to say Forest. If he would have went to a Crystal Palace or maybe like a Wolves or somewhere where he had dynamic players in the midfield around him, you would be talking about, yeah, we want James McAtee in our starting 11 next year at Man City. That's the potential I think he has. He just has to be surrounded by the best players or players that almost make him better in the side. Our team, it's just we're relying on his pure talent now. And if he doesn't have anyone around him, then he doesn't shine. But when he has somebody that can almost go in lockstep formation with him, the dude is an absolute world beater. You guys got a player on your hands. It's. I'm hoping it's one of those things where Pep like wisens up and like, okay, maybe next year you send him to like I don't know, like a Brighton, somebody in the top half, and be like, all right, cool deal. Here, roll out here and play with these guys for a whole season, maybe half a season, and then come back. James McAtee is going to be a very good player for you guys. He is going to be a really, really good player.
Cool. I like that. The Girona idea. Yeah, I think the better talent is how you grow. And that's where, and even if what you do obviously as a club is that you send them to the better side. So now, even if we don't have a spot for him, because let's be real, it's hard to get on our team. Now we get that sell on, and it's like, hey, we'll move him along, maybe a loan to buy option, and you take, because it's all profit because he's an academy player. And now my cohorts and my show bros hate when I talk like this, but that's the business of it. You can't keep all the academy prospects. The majority of them are going to be sold. So you might as well get as much as possible, i.e. Cole Palmer, when you can. You got to strike while the iron's hot.
And you're right. I mean, if United could buy him, I mean, City's asking price probably 40, 50 million pounds. I mean, that's almost a quarter of what our team's worth. But I mean, I would love to have him. I would love to have him in our side. I mean, like I said, if you surround him around the right players, the sky's the limit. And you wouldn't be in Sharper, you're not wrong by saying, okay, let's sell him to Brighton. Let's sell him to Villa for this, or loan him with a chance to buy at the end of next season. If he plays good with better players around him, you'd be stupid not to let him go and just make more money for the club. You can't keep everybody in the side, especially if you're going to bring European players into City's side.
Thanks.
Yes.
All right. Next, you kind of mentioned your new manager and your new guy. What's his name again?
Chris Wilder. He's not a new manager. He's our old
back.
manager.
He's back.
He's back.
Oh, the overlapping center backs.
Yeah. He's the dude that the first year, and then COVID went and messed it all up. Had the overlapping center backs, and that's why we finished 9th in our first season in the Premier League, and then COVID hit and screwed it all up. I don't think necessarily we would have got relegated that second season. I don't think we would have finished 9th. We probably would have finished 15th. But injuries and a rush season and all that stuff probably hampered it. So then we bring Paul Heckingbottom in. Paul Heckingbottom takes us down. So VC Jokanovic takes us 11 games into the first championship season. We bring Paul Heckingbottom in for the better part of 2.5 seasons. And then he sucks ass in this league, and we sack him and bring Chris Wilder back. It's a new manager balance. That's all. It'll be a thing. It's already worn off. It with our loss against Luton on Boxing Day, it's already worn off. New manager balance. We'll go be back to being ass in this league. He won't be able to get a tune out of the players, but we gave him an 18-year contract just to take us down to the second division. That's all that was. He's trying to play his old tactics, still not working. Yeah, we're not up for this one.
I'm sorry to hear that. I was thinking we were going to hear something a little hopeful about. Well,
it was hopeful. It was hopeful for 4 or 5 games. That was it.
And then you lose the Burnley, and you're like, it's all shit.
Yeah. Then it went down.
Man, yeah, you guys seem pretty secure in those bottom 3 spots. All 3 of those clubs. It's unfortunate. Man, and we kind of talked about your players, and you called them a bunch of hey, Derek. Hold on. Derek gave a comment. What's up, fellas? Hate I couldn't jump on. Yo, Sharpie, quit trying to sell all the academy kids.
They gotta go. Unless you're Foden or Rico or Bob. It's levels, okay? Levels. He's a little person. We don't have little midfielders unless you're Phil Foden, like Enrico. We don't have enough space for little people. Love him. Everybody can't be David Silva. I'm sure it was his idol, but sorry, my boy. Have fun in Crystal Palace. CP. Go to West Ham. I like that. McAtee to West Ham. Oh, he would thrive with David Moyes. I love that. Because we're gonna get Paquetá. But we might as well, give them McAtee like we gave out Tommy Doyle. Don't be surprised if that happens, by the way. Like, that would be a perfect deal for them.
Put 100 on it right now.
Yeah. Throw a little tenner on it.
Yeah.
And then when it happens, that'd be a nice little payback. I don't know. Paquetá, he went down. It was a little worrying.
And he was gambling too, so he might get canned for 8 months like Ivan Toney did too.
I'm surprised it's taking so long. Just to say, like, because the way they made it seem was kind of cut and dry, but he's obviously been playing the whole season. And but I guess the Toney thing took a while too, and then the bomb came down. So
so Paquetá, you might not want him because he might be banned for 8 months.
And that's exactly it. That's all they're saying. That's the only reason why we are staying away from him is because he will eventually have to sit down for a bit, and the price that City are going to have to pay for him will not be worth losing him for 6 months. You don't want to pull a Newcastle. I mean, obviously Newcastle didn't know what was going on, but that's crazy. You spend all this money, he comes, obviously, I mean, they were having a little dip before everything, but I think that was also because he was finding out what was happening, and that made things difficult. But his talent was seen immediately in the first match. What Paquetá could really bring to us, because the things he was doing today before he went down and got hurt, like the play that happened when he actually hurt himself, he dribbled out of. It was like Declan and Saliba were on his left and right, and he just pushed them away and did some like back heel flick thing, and the balls did like this English spin, and next thing you know, he was free, and everybody had just ran opposite directions. It was just like, what happened? I want him on our squad, and I don't think it's gonna happen. I think we're gonna miss him. Hey, but I got to figure out how to say his name. Is it Everici? Everichiri?
You talking about the kid from Argentina?
Yeah.
He doesn't matter to me. He doesn't matter next year either. He's a name on a piece of paper.
He's like a Maximo Perrone, like a Perrone type of dude.
Exactly. He just hurt people to make money off of. We are bringing these players in to profit off of them later. That is the goal. These are 4 or 5 year projects. Who you're like, oh yeah, Perrone. I remember that guy. He did play at City for that one time. Like the way you all talk about like Jan Koto and all these other players, like it's whatever, dude. They aren't helping us win trophies. It's cute though. Cute. I don't get excited about it.
But I do. I still just like, I think Jan Koto can do it.
He probably could. Or mid-table club.
Right.
Go ahead on you. You got it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He'd kill it at Sheffield.
Oh my
probably.
God. Because he can play right back, he can play right midfield. He's an industrious player. I think he has the talent to really go anywhere. All right, well let's get here then. The matches this weekend. How do you see it going? What do you see as a score line? And in fact, let's start with you. And this may not be nice because obviously Sharpie is feeling ice cold today, which I'm loving this transparent, efficient Sharpie. This seems to be the 2024 energy. I'm here for it. Let's start with you, bro, and then we'll go to Chad with the score prediction.
If we score less than 3 goals against Sheffield United, it is going to be a fucking crisis. Then I will lose all my karma. So City, I'm taking the over 2.5 goals. City money line.
It's a lock.
Alvarez, Foden, and Bernardo and Grealish shots on target. Like, it won't be like a 6-0, but it should be a solid 3-0.
Yeah.
What you got, Chad?
Yeah, it's probably 4 or 5 now. I don't think we have a shot on target before 55, 65 minutes. Maybe not the entire game. Yeah, it's not. It's not. I mean, you guys could play. You could play with 11 goalkeepers, and we probably still wouldn't score. Yeah, that parlay that parlay you put together, that was going to be good. Yeah.
Well, and Sharpie, he was going crazy with some mid-major parlays today. I was just and what kills me is like his parlays, they're not even like the numbers aren't even crazy. It's like a 8-leg parlay, and he's gonna get like $10 from a $5 bet. I'm like, this man is a sicko. He is in it for the fun and the excitement of just betting. He just wants to be.
It really is.
I love it.
It really is. It really is. Because here's the thought: is that if I really want to go big, like yesterday, I bet 50 on City to win. I knew we were going to beat Everton, right? It was a $30 profit, great. But like anything else that's super risky, it's like, why lose money on risk? Like those are for fun. And if they hit, it's amazing. And if they don't, it's like, okay, it's $4. Like I'm not going to lose my mind. After I had a big bet go bad back in 2022, early February 2022, college basketball, bet way too big. And I was like, I'm never getting in that hole again. So now it's just fun bets. Unless, like, for example, when Bama plays Michigan, I'm going to bet Bama. For all my people out there to watch college football,
I already did.
Roll Tide.
I already did.
See, smart man. I saw it was like +2 earlier. Like I should have hopped on, but like, yeah, Roll Tide. Like you know what's good. You know what's good.
Shit. Okay.
Looks up Alabama right now. Actually,
I know, right? I'm gonna do that after this. I'm like, actually, no, that's it. That's probably a really good idea. Honestly, the fact that Sharpie said clean sheet, that gets me excited because I feel like I'm the resident dinosaur in our show from that aspect because I'm the only one being like clean sheet. So I'm gonna keep that energy and I'm gonna 4-0.
Chad convinced me. He said his team is shit, so I'm gonna believe him. Like,
we are. I wouldn't tell you anything different. I wouldn't blow smoke up your ass.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot it up. You know, we play a lot of pace. We got gunners. You know, we'll make it exciting. I'm like, okay, maybe we give up a goal, but if he said we won't get a shot off,
you're just like, no, it's not happening.
Not happening. All right, bet. Let's do it. Both teams have scored. No, like,
stay away from that. Stay away from that.
Put it right into play.
Oh man. Well, shoot. Well, Chad, please let listeners, viewers, Shady Gang know how they can find out about Red Half of Sheffield. Maybe give you a peek, a view, a listen.
Yeah, if you guys want to check us out, we're at Red Sheffield on Twitter /X, whatever it is. We got a YouTube channel, Red Half of Sheffield. I do all the preview podcasts. If you want to listen to my pessimistic takes, Red Half of Sheffield. Just look us up on Spotify. We're all over there.
Yeah. And I agree, Tarek. This will be fun. I'm trying to figure out what I can and can't do. I try to like scramble a video and it was too much. What can I present? There are things that I can upload. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna make, you know how I am with being extra, and this actually fits it perfectly. I'm gonna up the production value. We're gonna have some fun on these shows. So
hey, Crumb, just an idea, man. Like if you want to just try to like get it, like just to play around with it, if you want to go live after the match Saturday, like I got time. If you want to just, keep messing around.
Hey, I'm down. We're gonna have this, and that's what we're gonna use this for. I have a few live watch alongs that during the week I'm gonna do because I know you guys will all be working next month. But yeah, we're gonna try to use this as much as possible and post directly to YouTube and Twitch and really try to get this community building, growing, because we're doing fun things with.
We want some money, people. We want some money. I'm joking. Not really, but kind of sort of.
I like the fact that we're all over these different formats and we're showing that we can drag our Shady Gang all around and they'll come and support us. And hey, I love it. Well, Chad, I appreciate you. I really do. Good luck, but not the best of luck on this weekend.
Need it. I don't think luck's what we need.
2 shots on target. Let's go. That's what we're doing. We're not scoring goals here. We just want shots on target.
Oh,
Let's get 2 of them, baby.
over two.
That's what we're doing. Ollie McBurney, 1 shot on target. I'm taking whatever it is. I don't give a fuck. I followed you on Twitter. You can see it. I'm gonna post it. Give me McBurney shot on target. That's my bet. Real sicko shit.
We will be back Saturday, actually an hour before the match on FanFest Live, doing our kickoff show, the last FanFest Live show of 2023, baby. So come in, join us, and let's get those 3 points and finish the season strong. You know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.
Peace.